Hey guys, this is video number 3 on hypermobility. I had my client Bo and her sister come in, and Bo is hypermobile, and she's just way very flexible. And her sister has a bunion issue she comes in with, and uh, they both made this video, got on camera for you to see that you're not alone. Uh, there are many women out there and men, athletes, as well as people like me who are clumsy, who are hypermobile. And hypermobility is not the cause of our pain, again, it's the relative tension compared to our innate flexibility that causes pain. As you watch the video, look for me talking about innate flexibility again. I touch up on that. Look for me talking about repetitive stress injury, and both sister has had a lot of walking on high heels as a model, and rollerblading, and a lifetime of walking. These girls are in their 20s but having pain because of relative muscular tension building up throughout life. And also look for just the range of motions that they have, especially Bo, that she has such full range of motion with her elbows, and her left elbow hyperextends, and she does not have pain with that hyperextension. Where she has pain is the right elbow that has relatively less range of motion compared to what she is used to, what her body is used to. Watch the video, and the first clip of that video, the first 2 minutes, is too shaky. Forgive me that, please, but watch it and learn, guys. And I have my wonderful client Bo in here, and her sister Brooke. And I am going to demonstrate Bo as a, quotes, a hypermobile client. In other words, very flexible gal who does not need to be in pain because of her over flexibility. She'll just get out of pain doing the same thing that everybody else does, which is release and stretch. And she brought her wonderful sister Brooke over for a bunion issue, which is very common among women. But she's also very close to that flexibility. She's very close to the flexibility of Bo. And let's do some of the examples, girls. Could you extend your elbows fully? Let me see. So that elbow is quote hypermobile. See that elbow extending that much? Let me see your elbow, Brooke. Bo, yeah. Let me see the other elbow.
This one is...
Okay, so that's kind of close normal range of motion, but that's tight for you, correct?
Tight.
So this elbow is not extending as much as the other elbow.
The other one literally flips.
Okay, and that feels comfortable.
Yeah.
So this is pain-free.
Yes.
Again, the bunion concept is the swelling of the joint. And I was just talking about compression occurring there due to years of repetitive movements. And when I asked Brooke to give me examples of repetitive movements, she talked about walking, right?
Yeah.
And then?
Walking, always in heels, constantly wearing like confined heels, and then skating.
Skating,
so,
perfect. So you do roller derby, and you do modeling, and you do we do a lifetime of walking.
Walking.
Yeah. You're in your 20s.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So as her concern, she said, well, if I'm having this, I don't want it to get... What was her concern?
I don't want it to get any worse over time. Like, soon I won't be able to support my weight on my feet.
Okay, very good. And how much is the pain already on the scale of 1 to 10?
Probably by the end of a day, maybe 8 or 9.
Okay, very good. Perfect. So the repetitive movements that we talked about shorten the muscles and the tendons and ligaments. And what I did for this side is I stretched this guy, stretched it down, and I released this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So although her flexibility is very high, close to that what would be diagnosed as hypermobile.
Mm-hmm.
But what we need to do is get the relatively tighter tendons and ligaments soft, just like the rest of her body. I liked actually using this example. So if we were to compare the thumb to the big toe,
Sure.
This is another joint, right? And that's another joint.
Kind of phalange, like similar joint.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's like, yeah, exactly. And
Same socket joint.
yeah, same socket joint for the arm as the foot. Exactly. So we bend this joint fully,
Right.
and there is no pain.
Right.
Correct. So that's her innate flexibility, and I explained innate flexibility in the first video. And when I press, there's little pain. Correct.
Yeah,
when I
very
strip
little.
like
Yeah.
this, and that's the fingertip. If I when we bend this one, you have pain, right?
Oh yeah, extreme.
Extreme pain. And where do you experience the pain? Can you show me? If I stretch, where do you
It's
experience?
up here,
Perfect.
and then it's all under the bottom of the joint.
Okay, so right after, give me a 5. Right after that stretch, I'm going to release both here, but the fingertip is too sharp for this because this is tight, relative to your tight again. So I'm going to go ahead, do that with my thumb. Is that painful? Quite
Yeah,
painful, right? Give me a number on that.
10.
Wow, okay, perfect. So
10 or 9.
So while on this joint, this is half the size of the big toe joint, the bunion joint. I go with the fingertip, and it's not too painful. Give me a
No,
number here.
it's 2, not even 2.
Okay,
That's
very
a
good.
healthy.
So my job is to get all of Brooke's tissues to her innate flexibility, the place where she has almost no pain. So again, innate flexibility, which is genetically predisposed to God-given flexibility for Brooke, is the place where at end range of motion she has near zero pain.
Yeah.
Very good. So near absence of pain at end range of motion is innate flexibility, and everything tighter than that is going to be experienced as pain. These muscles are not tight compared to someone else's muscles. Actually, this is plenty of range of motion in this joint. So is this one. A lot of people don't even have that much range of motion, but this is tight compared to her.
Her natural flexibility.
Yeah. So if our muscles are tight, they're tight compared to our loose.
Right. To
They're
our
not
innate
tied
flexibility.
to Josh Mo's, or
Yeah.
let's not judge, but let's not create the standard of flexibility and try to jam you into that standard, girls.
Totally.
Yeah.
You're just very flexible.
There's no default flexibility, like, oh, everybody's at a 3, and then, like,
Yeah,
everybody has
which
their
that
own-
default, very good. Yeah. That default is created by the science of goniometry. I don't have the goniometer with me, which is an angular measurement device, which says we should have 70 degrees internal rotation in the shoulder, 90 degrees external rotation, and 180 degrees.
It's all too defined.
No, yeah. Not every person can fit in a box like that.
Yes, well, the feminine understands that very well. The masculine from point A to point B approach doesn't always. And it took me years. It took me about 5 years to really understand that the whole concept of standard range of motions does not make sense. What I want to do is measure the client's overall flexibility.
Individual flexibility.
Yeah. And get hands-on and see what her flexibility is, and whatever is tight.
Right.
Yes, it's safe to stretch. We are stretching and releasing those muscles. At least girls, you can release at home, and whatever is tender, you can just maintain the pressure for 30 seconds at a time. And let's do a bunion video and next Wednesday and put that on the channel as well.
Yeah.
And right after this, I'll go ahead and clip to this video Bo's incredible flexibility and how the muscles that are relatively tighter and the joints that are relatively tighter are in pain.
Yeah.
Brooke, gorgeous girl, thank you.
Thank you.
Love you.
Thank you so
Great
much.
for
I feel
coming,
so much
guys.
better.
And giving the example to
Already
others.
almost.
We're going to teach you how to do that.
This is from a volleyball injury where I jammed this thumb.
So you're telling me that this thumb cannot do what this thumb does.
Yeah, and I mean, I used to be able to like get at least over here.
And everybody would tell you nobody can do that.
Well, I would show them. I was like, look, I can't even touch the other side of my hand. And they were like, nobody can do that.
Yeah.
I was like, but this hand does, and it always has.
Okay, so what we are saying is that, so this hand is not hurting because it's hyper flexible. This hand is at its natural flexibility, which is your flexibility is very high. Well, this guy is
nowhere near.
Nowhere near.
And that whole arm has been feeling that since that.
So, okay, so let's go ahead and get that down to that proper range of motion.